This is KGW News at Sunrise.
This morning, fire crews are mopping up a wildfire in Salem that's now 100% contained. But some evacuation orders are still in place. We have the update straight ahead.
And Evergreen teachers and educators in Vancouver have voted to authorize a strike less than a week before classes begin. What's at stake if the union and the Evergreen School District don't come to an agreement this weekend?
And we are also live this morning out at Waverly Country Club in Southeast Portland because that is the site of this year's U.S. Senior Women's Open. Some of the all-time greats in the game of golf playing out there the next 4 days. So Eric Patterson, our Sunrise photographer, getting to go inside a place that not a whole lot of people, Rod Hill, get to go inside. Waverly Country Club, the dining area.
I showed up once, I knocked on the door, they're like, go away.
Stay back. Hey, good Thursday morning, everyone. We're going to have more from Eric, but first get us started. It's heating up again.
It is. We stuck at 79 yesterday, so that was back-to-back days in the 70s. That ends today with temps getting back up into the 90s. Showing you this upper level low, and we'll get more into this coming up, but this low is going to snuggle a little closer to us, and it will be the trigger for potential storm activity overnight tonight and also during the day tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. Right now, though, it's mainly clear up top, all dry on the bricks. You can see a little breeze in downtown Portland with the flags blowing there. It's calm out at PDX. However, early morning number is setting at 60 degrees. Here comes the warm up, 79 at noon, and just like that, 79 was the high yesterday. Today, 94. That's your forecast.
Yeah, big change. Thank you, Rod. As of this morning, a wildfire near Salem is 100% contained. The Liberty Fire started yesterday afternoon and only grew to 20 acres.
Yeah, crews are out there mopping up this morning, holding the line. Catherine Cook has the story.
Smoke rising over the Jory Hill area just south of Salem. Marion County Sheriff's officials say the Liberty Fire was contained to a 20-acre area. Crews from 7 agencies attacked the flames by ground and air.
We've got a lot of wind right now that we're dealing with at the moment, but the teams are pushing it hard.
The grass fire started around 2:45. It spread quickly, triggering level 3 go now evacuations.
Marion County Sheriff's Office, level 3, go now evacuation.
We just live up there by Jory Hill, and we could see the fire starting and heard the sirens.
Andy Frank and his family were among the 630 households notified. The evacuation zone stretched from west of Liberty Road South and Jory Hill Road South.
We were not necessarily going to leave, but the sheriff came and said we have to go.
They packed their computers, some valuables, and their cat Dander, and left.
Our one neighbor has horses, and she was trying to figure out what to do with them.
That's where volunteers like Mackenzie Brown and Taya Miles stepped in. They staged outside Judson Middle School, where evacuees and their animals can go.
I went ahead and hooked up my horse trailer and booked it on out here.
The women helped evacuate 3 horses and took them to Almsville.
They were scared, understandably, but they were great.
For Mackenzie, this feels personal. She lost her home to fire last year.
I always suggest to people that they don't wait for a level 3, just because fires are wild. And
by Wednesday evening, officials noted the fire had damaged 2 outbuildings, but there were no injuries. Families like the Franks
it was a little too close.
Are thankful for that. Catherine Cook, KGW News.
Also this morning, Oregon has a new resource in place to help the state deal with disasters. We're talking about wildfires, flooding, whatever the case may be. So it's called an Evacuation Assembly Point, or EAP for short, and we can show you what they look like with this video right here. So they include things like huge containers that can be used for shelter. They're packed with essentials like food and water. Oregon officials actually set up the state's first EAP yesterday here at the Tillamook Municipal Airport along the Oregon coast. It can serve as a short-term location for up to 100 people. Again, anyone dealing with a disaster.
Very honored that we got the opportunity to do it first and see how it goes and be a model, I guess, for any other counties that start working on it.
Dozens of volunteers and community leaders stayed there overnight, and they were trained on how to set the shelters up, like putting the running portable showers into place. County commissioners say their goal is to run a disaster exercise like this once a year.
Workers at Powell's Books say they're going on a 1-day strike on Labor Day. The union representing them made the announcement on Instagram. The strike comes as the union and bookstore continue contract negotiations that have been going on for the past 6 months. Earlier this month, 92% of PAL's employees voted to authorize a strike. The ones who talked to KGW say a living wage and affordable health care are the two biggest issues they're fighting for.
Teachers and educators in the Evergreen School District have voted to authorize a strike. During last night's vote, 93% voted in favor. Now, this doesn't mean they will strike, but could if an agreement between the district and union is not reached. Our Devin Haskins is live this morning outside district headquarters with more details. And Devin, this could delay the start of school.
Yeah, the start of school for here in Evergreen Public Schools is next Wednesday, August 30th. The district says that the two sides can't come to an agreement, and the teachers union does go on strike, that it could delay the start of school, which would then add calendar days to the school year for the students here and the teachers. The two sides have been in talks since March and trying to come into agreement since then, entered into mediation earlier this month. The current proposal by the district offers a 3-year contract that includes a raise of 4.7% for the coming school year. It also includes an additional professional development day and an increase in what's called TRI pay, which stands for time, responsibility, and incentive. A chart posted on the district's website shows that the proposal would make their teachers the highest paid in the area. The Evergreen Education Association, those representing the teachers, say they want more support for students with special needs, an additional planning days, cost of living raises to attract and retain teachers, and to increase staffing levels. Now, the two sides will be back at the bargaining table on Friday and again on Saturday to try and see if they can come to an agreement before that start of the school year next Wednesday. In addition, so here in Southwest Washington and Clark County, a different school district, Camas School District, on Tuesday, their teachers voted to authorize a strike as well if the two sides there can't come to an agreement. So a lot to keep an eye on. For now, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Devin Haskins reporting live for us this morning in Vancouver. Another piece of local school news here. Starting this school year, middle and high school students in the Portland Public School District will be required to wear ID badges at all times. The district says this new rule is all about improving school safety. Another note here, unarmed campus safety associates, as they're known, will also be on middle school campuses this year. Last year, there were only at local high schools in the Portland district. So there you go.
All right, let's step outside and show you our, not much, let me just be honest. It's dark out there. That's our Wells Fargo sky cam. We have some pretty city lights, but let me just say, you caught my attention, Mr. Hill, when you said yesterday we were in the 70s, today, mid-90s.
Yeah, it's a rapid jump, isn't it? And if I counted correctly, today will be day 21 of 90-degree heat. You go back to the decade of the 1990s, normal was around a dozen. Now normal, I'm saying, is 16, but you would think we're well on our way to normal being 20.
I don't like the new normal.
I think you counted correctly, too, by the way. I trust his ability to count to 21, don't you?
Really?
Not bad. Not bad.
Maybe the kindest thing Drew Carney's ever said to me. There's an upper level low offshore. That is going to be a thunderstorm threat, and that's where I begin. So there's no marine push this morning. Now, there probably are some fog pockets around the coast because your temperatures are low 50s right around your dew point, but no marine push. Now, with that said, this does show some fog near Newport later today. This is 8:30 this evening. So this evening is when we start to look for showers and thunderstorms coming up from the south, and they first show up here in Central Oregon. And then overnight, this could be a thunderstorm along the coast in Newport. Now notice, this is what, 3:30 in the morning. It doesn't show anything up and down I-5. And then notice 8:30 in the morning, it never showed anything over the Cascades. Shows a few showers up around Longview. Now let me say this. The indices we look at as forecasters are very unstable for overnight tonight into especially tomorrow morning. So could this be underplaying it? Could we have a thunderstorm pop in the valley? Could there be something pop along the Cascades overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning? Absolutely. Now, Futurecast does show that once we get these storms rolling, there's a storm chance continuing tomorrow afternoon. Here's one nearing Mount Hood and then out and across central and eastern areas. And then thunderstorms reappear central and eastern areas on Saturday. So All eyes will be on the potential for some fire starts. Red flag warning is already posted for today and tomorrow for right now the west slopes of the Cascades. High fire danger. Okay, these are the current numbers for you. 60 in Portland, but 55 in Kelso. 48 in Newport. Remember I said low 50s, some nearing the dew point, maybe some fog pockets along the coast. Yeah, Newport, probably some fog there. 48. Okay, here's that big warm up. This shows 93 Corvallis, Salem, McMinnville. Light winds in the valley today. Winds will be north to northeast with some gusty east winds in the gorge itself, building 20 to 30 miles per hour. So if you live out in East County, you'll get some noticeable breezes this afternoon. Battleground in Vancouver, just like that, go up to 94. Possible storm threat continues tomorrow. 95 Saturday. Sunday, there's a second storm chance. I talked about that a little bit yesterday. And then still eyeing that cool off with what looks to be a good chance of some rain Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night, and especially during the day Wednesday. And that's your forecast.
Rod, thank you. Coming up after the break, a chance to say thank you to a nonprofit that helped this former homeless man get into recovery.
What really brought me to my bottom was realizing my need for community. Finding myself isolated and alone.
Now he's running hood to coast to raise money for others who are homeless. We have more on his story, plus the traffic impact of the big relay. We're back in just 2 minutes.